Probate in the Philippines can take years. Here's how to avoid it.
This is 𝗙𝒹𝒹 Lawyers. I'm Ed Kanglet. I'm with Dr. 𝗍𝒂𝒂𝒃, and we're here to go over commonly asked questions by our Filipino-American clients related to Philippine-based assets.
Can a Filipino-American inherit land in the Philippines? And the answer is yes. Actually, former Filipinos and dual citizens can inherit land in the Philippines. Even though foreigners can inherit land through hereditary succession, they cannot purchase the land directly. Okay, so you can still inherit if you're a foreigner, you're not a Filipino, but you cannot purchase the land directly. Another question, can a U.S. citizen own land in the Philippines?
Generally, foreigners cannot own land in the Philippines, but they may acquire condominium units or corporate shares subject to percentage restrictions. Former natural-born Filipinos can purchase land in the Philippines, but with the following restrictions. For example, in urban land areas, up to 1,000 square meters for residential purposes, and that goes up to 1 hectare for residential purposes in rural lands. And then business purposes have different restrictions as well.
All right, let's talk a little bit about probate and the court process in the Philippines. Question often asked is, how can I avoid probate in the Philippines? Well, as mentioned earlier in our previous discussions, probate is a court process where the court supervises the administration of a person's estate, someone who's passed away. You can avoid probate in the Philippines, provided you don't have a will, which is counterintuitive, right? We were talking about that earlier. You would think that by having a will, you're going to be able to avoid probate, but actually that is really true even in the United States. If you have a will, you must go through probate. This probate process in the Philippines will allow your heirs to use what we call an out-of-court agreement called an extrajudicial agreement. So if you have a will, court. If you don't have a will, then your heirs are able to use an out-of-court agreement, that what we call again an EJS. So if you have a will, there's no way around it. You're going to have to go to court. You can also avoid probate by creating a specially created Philippine trust. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, your U.S. trust does not work in the Philippines. Okay, so you must create a Philippine trust for your trust to work. And again, that can also avoid probate in the Philippines. Great. So another question, can creditors in the U.S. claim against my Philippine property after I die? Well, the simple answer is it's possible, but it's difficult. Certainly, creditors in the United States will have to do something. They just don't go there and enforce, let's say you even have a U.S. judgment against your estate. They would have to go through probate process in the Philippines. So when someone dies, their estate, including properties located in the Philippines, become responsible for paying debts, your outstanding debts, before we can distribute the inheritance to your heirs. This will include debts owed by to creditors abroad, even if the creditors are in the United States. However, U.S. creditors cannot just simply come to the Philippines and collect. They must follow steps. In other words, they have to file a claim against the estate during the probate proceeding or estate settlement process in the Philippines. In other words, there has to be a probate. They have to file a creditor's claim, just like here in the U.S. And if it's done properly, then they will be paid from the proceeds of the probate administration or the estate administration as part of that process. Okay. Again, if the claims are valid and it's proven in the probate court, then your estate will be required to settle the debt from the assets of your estate, including any property that may be located in the Philippines.
Again, we are 𝗙𝒹𝒹 Lawyers. You can give us a call at 323-345-2652.
You can also reach us at www.𝗙𝒹𝒹 philamlawyers.com.